Democratic Party used to be, we are all about doing for working people. That's what we do. That's what Mario Cuomo's party, that's what Maxine Waters' party was. You are now seen as not that, even by Bernie Sanders.
That's former CNN host Chris Cuomo shutting down Democrat Representative Maxine Waters' attempt to blame racism on Kamala Harris's crushing defeat. Welcome to Nerk News, I'm Nerkish, and it looks like Democrats are still trotting out their old tired race-baiting narratives about why Donald Trump won the election, even though no one seems to be listening anymore. So who better to deliver that irrelevant message than the physical embodiment of all those things?
What is the lesson that your party should have learned?
Well, the Democratic Party worked very hard, and they raised, substantial sum of money. We had great candidates, and so Trump had a following, basically generally led by whites. White males voted in big numbers. He had a few from the other race groups that joined in, like the Latinos at 45%, and black men at about the same rate that they did when they voted for him before, at about 20%. That combination won. And so it is not that Democrats did not work hard, did not do a great job. We had an unusual situation where we had a black woman, which this country has never seen before. A combination of all of those things led to his win.
I will not push back on the idea that race and sex matter in American politics. I think they do. I don't know that it was the controlling variable, and you don't suggest otherwise. To me, it seemed to be that the Democrats thought Trump stinks is enough. And Senator Bernie Sanders said something that reminded me of you, which is why I wanted you on the show tonight, Maxine, which is Democratic Party used to be, we are all about doing for working people. That's what we do. That's what Mario Cuomo's party, that's what Maxine Waters' party was. You are now seen as not that, even by Bernie Sanders.
You know, I'm not even sure if she knew Chris was pushing back on her at this point. Frankly, she seemed to be stuck in some sort of race-baiting show mode and spouting cliche talking points. And while that may work for a few hysterical women on the left doing things like crying on camera, getting tattoos, and shaving their heads out of protest, most people, even ones who aren't the biggest fans of Trump, are starting to see through this type of hollow BS.
Kamala Harris did not lose this election because she's a woman. She lost this election because there were American families sitting there telling her how they couldn't afford to put food in their fridge, and her solution was to bring out Meg Thee Stallion to twerk on stage alongside just about every single one of P. Diddy's friends to endorse her. She lost this election because there were Americans who lost everything in an absolutely horrific hurricane, and she sat there telling them that $750 should be enough for them if they even qualify, while simultaneously funding illegals staying in five-star hotels in New York City, receiving 3 meals a day provided to them by taxpayer dollars. She lost this election because she sat there talking about how anti-racism she was, while simultaneously blaming straight white men for just about every single problem this country has. Isn't it funny that if you demonize a group of people long enough for merely existing, they might not want to vote for you? American politics has changed forever. You will no longer be able to sit there and bully Americans into voting for you. It won't work. Unfortunately, our politicians on both sides seem to forget that they are actually public servants. They answer to the public, not the other way around. And they need to get behind that. They need to understand that, and they need to change and reform their policies to fit what the public is saying, or they will get left in the dust, as Kamala learned the hard way yesterday.
You know, that woman's 100% right there, and frankly, it's a good thing that Democrats don't have enough common sense to pivot following the election. I mean, personally, I hope that they stick to the strategy of calling anyone who disagrees with them various phobes and bigots, because all it does is pull the curtain down on their lies a bit further and make it more difficult for them to distance themselves from this stuff when the time comes and they lose enough support to realize that maybe they're partially responsible for their losses. But let me know what you think. Do Democrats like Maxine Waters have a future in their party, or are people finally getting fed up with their divisive BS? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That stuff really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Thanks for watching. Bye!